Wow, Willie here. Kind of early. Hey, this is a video in response to some video my friend Christine at the University of Light made. And then in the video, she prompted other people to make videos kind of responding to the same question and or topic theme thing. And in her video, it was about little tricks that remind you of what you aren't, and then how you use those to exit duality and enter into non-duality. So I thought about this kind of yesterday, and I thought it would be pretty cool to make as a response to her video and an addition to her conversation from what she made. So the infinite and infinity are in relationship with time, okay, and no time, because time is a measure of the finite, okay? So we're going to set up some rules, and then we're going to jump into what we're talking about. So because if something has a distinct beginning and a distinct ending, it is finite and it can be measured. And it can be measured by time, right? Because there's a period in between ending and a beginning. And you can measure that with time. You can't measure the infinite because there's no ending and there's no beginning. So there's no way for you to apply time to the infinite, right? So, and duality and non-duality, what are those, right? So duality is a relationship between two definite things, two opposites. At one end there's this, and at one end there's the other, right? And they're in relationship with each other. They're two definite things, and you can kind of measure them. That's finite, you see? And so non-duality would therefore be infinite. So we have two categories here that we're looking at. We have time, finite, duality. This is one category. And then we have the infinite, non-duality, no time. Okay? Now, this life form has a begin date. 37 years ago, this life form was born, okay? And it has an expiration date, right? 47 years from now, this life is going to expire. And the space in between is the finite period in which this form existed, okay? And it can be measured by time, right? And this is duality, right? But the life in me, I mean that's infinite. Nobody knows when life began. Okay? Oh, science says the earth and life are 65 million years old or billion years old. Or the religious people say, oh no, God made the earth 65,000 years ago. Come on, guys, let's get real. Nobody knows. Nobody in this finite form was at the beginning of time, and nobody knows if and when the end of life will happen, right? So nobody was at the beginning of life, and nobody knows when the end, if and when will happen, right? We cannot measure, therefore, with time, life, okay? The beginning of life, the ending of life. So life is infinite. So life forms, this life form is finite, is dualistic in nature. But the life within this life form is infinite. It's going to go on forever, you see? So these are the rules, and now we're going to look at what our finite form is composed of, and we're going to measure it with time. okay, as a way to get out of duality and into non-duality. Okay, so I was born 37 years ago, and every experience, every feeling, every moment from that time till now in my past has been recorded and stored somewhere in my body and in a compartment in my mind. Okay, and this is called my subconscious mind. Okay, the subconscious mind contains every past experience, the past feelings with those experiences, all of the input from my past. The subconscious mind is rooted in the past. Okay, so what's the future, right? So I have another compartment of my mind called the conscious mind. The conscious mind is the thinking mind, the planning mind, the analytical mind. Okay, and that's rooted in the future. If you're sitting there and you're daydreaming about tomorrow, which is what the thinking mind only can do, right? Then you're existing in your conscious mind. Okay? Like, I'm gonna think about what my life is gonna be like when I lose 30 pounds, when I'm back to my high school weight. Or I'm gonna think about what my life is gonna be like when I buy a house. Or I'm gonna think about what life is gonna be like when I get this dream job and I'm making a whole bunch of money. And I'm gonna think about what my life is going to be like when I find that girl or the guy of your dreams, right? This is the thinking mind. And it exists in the future. And since it exists in the future, when you exist or when your present moment experience is hijacked or dominated by your conscious mind reality, which is future, right? You're in duality, okay? Similarly, when an experience from the past comes up out of the subconscious mind and it overtakes your present moment experience, right? You're living in the past. You're living in duality, right? So they say there's another compartment of mind called the unconscious mind. I'm not really sure what the unconscious mind is, but in order to be what we are, we must know what we are not. Now, if you are unconscious, if you are not conscious, that means that you are not aware, you are not awake, you are not cognizant of the things that are happening right now in your present moment experience, right? I am aware of what is happening right now, so therefore, I am not unconscious, I am conscious. So this points us to another dimension to our being, right? Which is consciousness. Okay? So if you've experienced consciousness, you know that consciousness exists only in this present moment, right? So we see two different categories. We see past and future, which is finite, which is duality, which is existing in time, in our minds, and then we see consciousness, which is infinite, which is non-dualistic, okay, which is outside of time. So if some experience from your past, some contents of your subconscious mind comes up, hijacks your present moment experience, you're in duality, what you have to do is bring consciousness to what is occurring presently. And then you will exit duality. Right? That's the only thing you can do. Similarly, if you catch yourself daydreaming about the future in your conscious thinking mind, all you do is bring consciousness to that experience in the present moment. And you say, oh, I'm just daydreaming about the future. Right? It's interesting how the subconscious and the conscious mind work together in relationship to keep a person in duality. Because somebody said something mean to you yesterday, or they cut you off in traffic, right? Yesterday, in your past, and the subconscious mind brings that up, and then the conscious mind takes that experience and reimagines it, relives it, projects it into the future, and supposes a different action from you, right? A different action from you. Well, that person cut me off in traffic yesterday, and he was such an a-hole, and you know what? This is what I should have said. This is what I would have said. This is what I would have done, right? And it takes the past and it projects it into the future with you doing a different thing than what you did. And then you relive it. And then you reimagine it with yourself doing something different. And then you relive it and you reimagine it and you relive it and you reimagine it. And this is the relationship that the subconscious mind in the past has to the conscious mind in the future. And this is how we keep ourselves trapped in duality, in suffering, in misery. And we're really good at this. I've done this for 37 years. But unless you bring consciousness, unless you bring the infinite, the non-dual, into that reality, right? You're going to stay in this reality. Oh, I'm creating misery for myself in this moment. And I have been for the many moments before this. Oh, I should stop doing this. I should stop doing this by strengthening my conscious awareness, my consciousness, by developing in me an awareness of what is going on in me, a rootedness in self-reflection of myself at all times. What's coming out of me? Why did I say that? Why did I behave that way? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking about 5 years ago? Why am I thinking about 2 years ago? In strengthening your consciousness, you strengthen the infinite within you, and you enter into non-duality and you exit duality. Anyways, this is again a response to my friend Christine's at the University of Light's video prompt, and this was my addition to her conversation. So I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, Wild Willie out of here.